Welcome back. In the previous part, we arrived here at St. Ursula and met with Tio once again, and they explained why Tio is here. They're splitting up the SSS, so I'm assuming we're going to be doing a big roundup. But before we head off, let's go do the rounds here and see what's going on. That reminds me, haven't seen you since the day of the President's speech site. You chased after Kia when she was taken by Arios. So I've been worried about you all this time too. I did pursue them for as long as I could. However, once the Divine Blade reached the lake, I was unable to continue following. I wish there was more I could have done for Lloyd and the others. That was when I went back to my old pack to begin preparations. I apologize for the worry I caused you, Cecile. It's okay. All that matters is that you're safe now, just like Lloyd is, Zeit. Even better is that you're helping Lloyd and Wazzy fight now. So thank you. Cecile gently petted Zeit's head. Triple dot. For some reason, I feel a lot more at ease whenever I'm with you, Zeit. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't offend you by petting you like that. Should I have asked first? No, I do not mind. Triple dot. I don't know what's up with Zeit. He's being awfully quiet. Maybe he feels awkward after being pet by Cecile? Entirely possible. I always find it relaxing whenever I spend time with Zeit. We haven't known each other very long, or had many opportunities to relax together, but I'm somehow always at ease around him. It's like we've been friends for a very long time. Perhaps nostalgia is the best way to put it. It's like you two are attached by a string of fate, Cecile. I don't know if I'm more jealous of Zeit or Cecile. I wish he was this nice to me. Have you been taking time to study Macau? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been in the mood to. Everything that's happening at Crossbell. I'm not able to focus. Too worried about everyone at Lotus Heights. It's completely understandable that you would feel that way. But don't forget your studies, okay? You'll have to get back to them eventually once you've calmed down. Right, I'm just worried about everyone back at Lotus Heights. Using that as a reason to not study might not be the best decision, though. You've got to maximize your studying time, just like I do. From experience, it takes 3 days to get your rhythm after 1 day of slacking off. I know you're worried about what's happening in the city, but now isn't the time to start neglecting your studies, okay? I overheard the city kids over there talking about Ark and Seal. They're big fans. They came to the hospital hoping to visit Ilya, but were stranded after the barrier went up. They've helped me a lot, actually. It's nice to know some good kids are being raised in the city, you know? Those two are big fans of Ilya. They've been lending me a hand ever since they were stranded here after the barrier went up around the city. You know. I should actually rest. Oh, I've got the chance. And again. Cause may as well get my CP up. What's happened to the car? I know times are tough right about now, but we have to endure it and give Lady Ilya our full support. And while we're here, going to help out around the hospital and make ourselves as useful as we can be. I couldn't be happier that Lady Ilya regained consciousness. It makes staying here and praying for her to recover worth it. Because I wasn't able to travel to the hospital, my prescription for my chronic disease ran out. I began to have spasms. I know all too well how troublesome it can be to have the highway shut down like they have been. I'll have to wait for the next round of Defense Force escorts to go back to the city. We may as well get comfortable, it could take a while. My husband started to have spasms related to his chronic disease, so we called an ambulance. Thankfully, he was admitted to the hospital. I've heard there's a rigorous screening process, so I was afraid he might be turned away. Never in my life did I think I'd be happy to see my husband admitted to a hospital. Indeed. Yeah, on there. Fair enough. Just keep an eye out for any books or anything. Nothing. Mayfa recently ended her shift and is resting in her room right now. Everyone's been working around the clock, so I wish they'd have more time to rest and recuperate. With our number of outpatients slow to a crawl, I had more time to take breaks like this. Can't enjoy it though, given why it is we're not admitting patients in the first place. Still, Martha ordered me to rest up. On the other hand, I don't know how I feel about leaving Sirone unattended like this. Maybe I'll go check on her later. That's Sirone. You better not do something crazy when I'm not around. This isn't good. I think having time to worry about Sirone like this is making me even more stressed out. Indeed. There's that cookbook, but I know we got that one before. Right? I'm trying a new sheet drying technique. It's my new finishing move, and I call it pile dryer. Like it? It lets me dry twice as many sheets. That means I should be done in half the time, right? Now I can easily cover all of Mayfa's work while she has the day off. I think. I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't work. Okay, so I just realized the pile dryer doesn't work at all. Mayfa has the day off, and I thought I could cover her, but this is a lot harder than I was expecting. Oh dear, what actually is the pile dryer though? Like, what do you do? This is the way to the research ward, isn't it? We don't have any business there right now. Alright, fair enough. Triple dot. Dr. Salen? Oh, it's the SSS. Good to see you. What are you doing by yourself in Shizuku's room? She was once my patient. I was working through some thoughts. Like how she's been since Arias McLean took her from the hospital. Now I think about it, I haven't heard anything about her since that day. Must be with the others at Orcus Tower. Never feels good having a patient of yours taken out of your care. It's disgraceful. However, I understand the circumstances were anything but ordinary, Arias having been appointed as the Secretary of Defense. I know there was simply no way he could allow her to stay here any longer, but it doesn't make it any easier to accept. I'm sorry, Doctor. No, I should be apologizing. You don't need to hear about my troubles. You're here to visit friends, right? I'll leave you to it. Any time alone. Shizuku McLean carefully planned her medical treatment for the next year. Having a patient removed from your care is a disgrace as a doctor, regardless of what her father's circumstances are. Then again, perhaps it's natural to feel bound to any discharged patient. Visitors? Who is it? You can come in. Please excuse us. Hey there, Tio. Did you bring Is that who I think it is? And you're Wazzy, right? I'll chalk that lapse up to the injury. It's been a long time, Ilya. I'm sorry it took me so long to come see you. Don't be ridiculous, silly. You three take a seat and make yourselves comfortable. You're welcome to help yourselves to the sweets that fans have been sending me. I think the cookies should be good. Cookies acquired. Where's that stool come from? I don't remember seeing it. I didn't realize just how tight of a spot you guys are in. It's crazy to think of how far Crossbell has fallen in the time since that raid. Yeah. No one would blame you if you thought you were still dreaming right now. I know I'm not. The frustration for not being able to move my legs is sobering enough, thank you very much. If only I could walk out of here and see the state our conceal is in with my own eyes. Ilya, by your condition, are you, Oh, that. Dr. Salen told me she doesn't know whether I'll be able to walk again. Though she didn't rule it out either. I thought that might be it. Enough with the sad faces, you two. You're trying to bum me out. Listen here. If I become convinced that it's impossible, then the chance of me walking again really does become zero, right? What? This is no different than working the stage. I have a goal to pursue like I always have. So no matter how painful or hopeless it may seem, as long as I've got a ray of hope, then it'll be the light at the end of the tunnel. Same goes for all of you. You're something else. Am I? I don't think I said anything all that out of the ordinary. Besides, I think what all of you are trying to accomplish is a lot harder than what I am. Is it? Put in that perspective, it is hard to ignore just how difficult our path is going to be. I say don't shy away from it. I'm not. People will do whatever it takes to fight for what's most important to them. To some extent, and that's what makes us human. What makes us human? Well put. I won't deny for a second that I've always been greedy. Good enough isn't good enough for yours truly. Still, I don't think I'm the only one like that. Same could be said for all our troop members. Risha too, of course. Ilya, do me a favor. If you see her, there's a message I want you to pass along. What's most important to you? Can you sit there and do nothing? Would your whole dear need you? Sure thing. When we find Risha, we'll tell her you said that. I'll hold you to that. Admittedly, I am still worried about all my fellow troop members in the city. Then again, this is Arkansas I'm talking about. Knowing them, they're practicing just as hard as ever. You saying you were worried about whether or not they were rehearsing? I'm sure they are galloping around in spandex as we speak. To be an artist. Sully in particular. These are important years for her growth. She had better be making leaps and bounds in preparation for when I come back and rock her world. I'm worried about my fellow troop members. She's incredible. That fervent dancer moniker follows her even when she's in no shape to dance. Actually, I was just thinking her Sun Princess persona is more true to life than act. I have had the chance to speak with her several times since I was stranded here. Do not know how I would have kept it together if not for her and Cecile. Glad to hear it. Now we have to find Risha too. Easier said than done. That one will likely come down to Adios' will. Should we pay a visit to Inspector Donovan too? Absolutely. But of course. Linen room! Oh, is it already time for the nurse to take your temperature again? Come on in. Pardon us. Well, I'll be. What are you doing here, Bunnings? It's great to see you again, Inspector Donovan. What do we have here? Wasn't expected to see you with a beautiful woman. We could always come back later if you were about to get a sensual sponge bath. This is the first time we've seen each other since I got out of a coma. And this is how you greet me, Hemisphere? Some father you are, was he? This is Farah, Inspector Donovan's wife. He has been staying here too and been helping to take care of him. It's nice to meet you two. Thank you for always helping out my Donnie. I've heard a lot about the SSS from him and Tio. They all sound like interesting people. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not sure it actually was. Good thing you two are here because I need some questions answered. Just what's going on out there? It's a long story. Holy city of Arteria. Things are a lot more serious than I thought. Am I too correct to assume that if anyone asks, I should say that I never saw you here? If you wouldn't mind. Well, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not the fugitive here. Fugitive? Never mind that. Inspector, has anyone from Crossbell City contacted you since you woke up? Well, Raymond did come to visit, and he told me a little about what's going on. From the sound of things, the CPD is basically a lower branch of the new Defense Force, or whatever it's called. Their day-to-day is still the same for the most part, but they've basically been relegated to doing chores in the city. It figures as much. I wouldn't have expected anything less with the way the President set this up. What about pushback? Surely not everyone in the department is okay with what's happening. I don't know about Vice Commissioner Pierre, but I can't imagine Chief Sergei or Dudley are fine with it. Well, just between you and me. I've heard Sergei, Dudley, Raymond, and some of the folks in the Metropolitan Division are up to something. The Chief and the others are planning some kind of resistance. You didn't hear that from me. They're biding their time, waiting for the opportunity to flip everything on its head. So, they're playing along for now. Might still have some allies in the city then. Yeah, but getting in contact with them is going to prove difficult. Let's trust them to look after the city for now. I'm gonna have to work on improving the situation in a different way from outside the barrier. Good call. You kids are fighting an uphill battle, but know that I'm rooting for you. Once I'm healthy, I'll head back up there and give Sergei and the boys a hand. Honey, well, if you insist. But let Raymond and the others worry about that for now. You need to rest first. I'm not letting you set foot out of the hospital until you've made a full recovery. Yes, dear. I've heard anyone talk to him like this. You get used to it. The inspector is no match for his wife. I would say Donny Boy is a lucky man. Yeah, he is. Man, I feel a little embarrassed letting you guys see me like this. Farah's had me wrapped around her finger since the day we got married. You two seem to make a great pair. Cute couple is how I would put it. Aww. Did you hear that, sweetie? I've always said you were cute. Can you believe she's like this even in front of you guys and Raymond? Well, whatever you guys end up doing, be careful out there, got it? Hopefully I'll be back on my feet soon, so that I can rejoin Sergei and the others. I understand there's a lot happening in Crossbell right now. That's all the more reason for me to keep looking out for Donny and make sure he doesn't do anything reckless. Fair enough. There you guys are. Ooh, you changed. Properly. Hey, friend. You all done packing and getting dressed? I didn't expect you to have, like, the full uniform. You betcha. How do I look? I have missed seeing you in your uniform, friend. Welcome back to the Force. It's like... I assume that's a new uniform, because it's like, if you were properly injured in that explosion, it's like, surely your uniform would be as well. I've missed it too. Did you visit Inspector Donovan yet? Yeah, we just saw him. You going to do the same? That's right. I couldn't leave without saying goodbye to him. I have to thank him once again. He did save my life during the raid. We understand. You go do what you have to. We'll wait up. Thanks. See you guys in a bit. Oh, of course we're going back in there to speak to her. Want to head back to the Macabre once she's done? Yeah, sounds good. Hey, hold on. Afterward, Lloyd and the others met back up with Zeit. They said their goodbyes to Cecile and left St. Ursula Hospital. I wasn't done! On their way back, Wesley discovered another gap in the septium veins influence just in front of the hospital. That's convenient. Placed a second warp circle there, making it possible for the Macabre to travel to St. Ursula and pick them up. I'm hoping I can just go back and do the rounds, because I'm not done. With Timo and Fran on board, the team can track wanted monsters and other requests along the highways for the Macabre's terminal. The terminal can be found in the Macabre's lower cabin, so be sure to check it when you have the time. I am detecting another gap in the septium veins influence. I will relay you the data. Okie dokie. Click, click. Coordinates identified. It's in the northeast Crossbell, near America Village. That's great. These two are quite helpful. Data's perception is of course useful, but having a dedicated navigator has also raised the ship's operational efficiency. Still, flying by the seat of my pants. Searching for places we can land will be much easier with you aboard. So what now? Would you like to head to our new landing point? Yeah, we should go confirm the situation in America Village too. Full speed ahead, destination American airspace. All set, maintaining high alert. I want to go back to St. Ursula. I wasn't done. It's like, no. See, yeah, it's like the skip makes sense now. Good. Without the Defense Force's protection, ambulances won't be able to come and go from the hospital. That would be terrible. Cryptids that have appeared on the highway and the Defense Force's restrictions really have us in a bind. They'd be glad if they spared a few more soldiers for the highway protection at the very least. For the record, I'm personally supporting you and your allies over the Defense Force and the President. Please stay safe out there. Nothing else. Try not to cause Cecile to worry too much, okay? Good luck, everyone. Please stay safe out there. Yeah. It's the janitor. Oh, there really is like no one here. Sadly, Ilya hasn't shown any signs of making a full recovery yet. I'm sure she'll be fine, since Ursula has the best doctors on the continent. If anyone can help Ilya rehabilitate, it's them. The Ursula doctors are the best Zemuria has to offer. May take a long time, but if anyone can help rehabilitate Ilya, it's them. And if you were wondering about the flow of information in the state right now, it's not good. You only hear the bare minimum from the city. For example, we're contacted about emergency response from time to time. But with travel restricted too, our response time is slow. These circumstances couldn't be less ideal. The information in the state right now is not good. We only hear the bare minimum from the city. Okay. At the start of these restrictions, we had discussions with the Defense Force on how to get prescriptions to patients who were previously commuting to the hospital. But there are too many patients like that. We couldn't have possibly arranged for all of them to be escorted here, so few Defense Force members posted. There was nothing we could do. Our acceptance of outpatients is slow to a crawl. I wish we could send our regular patients in the city their prescriptions. As things stand, it's out of our control. Oh. Just feel sorry for those random guys. So, I was wondering, Gailey, wife and boy live in Crossbell City, been able to get in contact with them? No, not recently. I see. Could always try speaking with the Defense Force soldiers about returning to the city. No, I know my wife and Kynes can look after themselves. It wouldn't be right to leave the hospital right now. Situation could suddenly change, and we might have to take several patients in severe need of help. You realize that, right, Largo? That is true. You've clearly put thought into this, so pardon my concern. He must be so worried about his wife and son that it's affecting his work. Or it might be better for him to request to go home. He's a doctor after all, so I can understand why Gailey thinks this is where he belongs right now. Perhaps I should have kept my comment to myself. Must be so worried about his wife and son that it's affecting his work. It might be better for him to request go home. Comment to myself. Even Largo can eke out a thoughtful remark every now and then. Sure, my wife and Kynes are fine, so I'm not going to worry. I managed to find a spare part that was on its last legs. Problem is, this is a specialty piece of equipment. We won't be able to get a new one unless we order it from Revache. This isn't good. In the meantime, we're going to have to be careful with the one we have. Some of the equipment here can only be special orders straight from Revache. Oh, that was new. We're going to have to be careful with the ones that's nearly broken. I'm sure Dr. Gailey is worried about his family, but it hasn't slowed him down. He's doing everything he can for St. Ursula. I'm worried about my family too. I think I'll follow the doctor's lead and trust they're okay. For now, I'll keep helping Chief Ursula. I'm sure Dr. Gailey's worried. Chief Ursula. I'm organizing the medicine that was provided to us by the Defense Force. Sadly, it's not the best. Whoever picked these out for our patients is a complete amateur when it comes to useful drugs. We can get by with this for the time being. However, it's not enough to treat a patient in critical condition. Basically the same. It's like just slight rewording. Might do is like reload a save and go speak to Fran though and see if she said anything before she appeared out of her room. I want to go home already. I was lucky enough to have my travel application approved, so I can return home. Too bad it'll still take a while. I need some Defense Force soldiers to take me back to the city, so all I can do now is wait. Inspector Donovan's recovery is progressing well, thankfully. Let's hope he'll be discharged soon. Ilya, on the other hand, may never fully recover, even if she undergoes intense rehabilitation. Hope she does, though. If anyone can make a grand comeback, it's her. Was that all new? Heard that even if Ilya undergoes intense rehabilitation, there's no guarantee she'll make a full recovery. And yet I still believe that if anyone can make a comeback, it's her. It's the kind of hope Ilya's instilled in all of us before. It bothers me to no end that the people with severe injuries or illnesses are allowed to leave the city to come to the hospital. Such a policy doesn't take into account those who have ailments that need to be diagnosed by a pro. Not everything can be seen at a quick glance. Shudder to think how horrible it would be to lose a patient we could have saved had they just been allowed to come to the hospital sooner. Keep thinking like it's not new. It's absurd that only patients with serious illnesses are just allowed to come to the hospital. We have President Croy to thank for that. What is he thinking? Yeah, he's gone off the deep end a bit. Fortunately, the hospital does still have the support of President Croy. That hasn't stopped anxiety from spreading among all the patients that are still here, however. Even ambulances fall under the travel restrictions. I'm still just an intern. I haven't been contributing to passing the anxiety onto our patients. Don't worry about it. Under these circumstances, I believe they'd be anxious no matter how experienced their attending physician is. Regardless, be mindful and considerate of the patients. Try to reassure them when you can. Does that mean the anxiety is getting to you too, Dr. Beldine? Maybe so. We're all human. Regardless, be mindful and considerate of the patients. Try to reassure them when you can. It's like, yeah, I can relate. Anxiety can really get you. Not that I have spoken to her directly, but seeing Ilya give rehab her all has really cheered me up too. I can't wait to tell everyone back in the city how hard Ilya's fighting when I finally get to go back. What good will complaining about the president do? It's not like it will change anything. We're Crossbell. We know how to endure tough times. The question is, where is Cecile at this point? Like, surely she's moved off there. Hope Shizuku is doing well right now. Agreed. He's always been on Kia's mind too. Chances are they're both at Orcus Tower right now. At least I hope so. Kia needs at least one friend right now. I pray the SSS will be together again soon. Lloyd. Easier said than done. Got a tough road ahead of us. We do, but if we're going to get Kia back, we're going to need everyone's combined strength. No matter how hard it's going to be, we're going to rest until the SSS is whole again. I know you can do it. I'll keep praying to the goddess for you. Get out there and find them. Thank you, Cecile. Hearing that makes me feel stronger already. He truly does have your blood, Ursula. I was gonna say. Is something wrong, Zeit? Yes, my bum is caught in the door, but it is nothing. I am simply lost in thought again. Are you ready to go to your rehab session, Ilya? Sure am. Take good care of me, Nurse Newis. I'd be happy to. I'm always here for my patients. Dr. Salin told me she doesn't know whether I'll be able to walk again. Means possibility isn't zero either. That's reason enough to keep fighting. Besides, isn't it human nature to keep fighting as long as there's something you love? I mean, performing. Yes, I would say that is the case for someone like you, Ilya. That's right. So before you guys go, I want you to promise me to deliver a message to Risha. Can you sit there and do nothing when what you hold dear needs you? Of course, we'll pass your words on to Risha the next time we see her. Do whatever it takes to fight for what's most important to them. As long as I keep fighting, the chances of me walking again will never truly be zero. I keep praying to the goddess for you in the meantime. Right, so we are roughly going to end this part here then, but just want to load a save and see like what Fran may have said just before we did Inspector Donovan. So, let's see here. Notebook, Enigma, toothbrush. Oh, and I have to finish saying goodbye to all the other patients and nurses. I think Fran still needs more time to get ready. It's fine. Still have our rounds to make, don't we? No, we've done them. Oh, and if I'm getting back into action, that means I should change to my uniform. No peeping. Got it, boys? I would never. There we go then. Right, so we'll see you in the next part when we head to America. Bye-bye!